I'm going to start. Most of the meeting is going to comprise a presentation of what our parish, that is St James and St William of York, have done as a case study of how to raise awareness for faith groups. There's lots of pros and good things that we've done, and there's lots of mistakes that we've made. So I'm hoping that part of today's meeting will also involve a discussion, some suggestions. And Paula, I know I've asked you to share a little bit about the experience at English Martyrs. And there may well be people from other faith groups as well. So I'm going to try, although the materials do come from a Roman Catholic source, I'm going to try and ensure that it's not too overtly Roman Catholic as such, but where it is, what I'd like to invite people to do is, if you are from a different faith group, please use the materials and adapt them, because I can send you all of the materials, I can send you all the links, all the PDFs that we've got, and adapt them for your own use, because there's a lot of good material that we've got. There will be an opportunity for discussion towards the end of the meeting. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to go through what I've got down on the agenda. Can everybody see my screen now? Can everybody see this screen?
Yes.
Good, that's the right answer.
That's the right answer. Good.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So
I'm going to maximize
the
size of it. And so get rid of this.
Get rid of this.
And just talk a little bit. Sorry, somebody's got some echoey sounds on.
It's Teresa Parkinson.
So, can everybody still hear me? Yes? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay, so basically what I've done is I've switched off my speaker, and I hope it's just going through my computer now. It might have been me. Anyway, so we've only got a short meeting, 3/4 of an hour. What I'd like to cover in that 3/4 of an hour is the background and inspiration for what we were doing at St James and St William of York, to show you some of the campaign materials and the follow-up that we did, to go through very quickly a sample of some of the online resource bank materials, and then to invite experiences and contributions from other groups. Finally, looking forward to some of the materials that we've got planned for the run-up to COP26 and sort of activities that we're doing there. A lot of these materials, especially the tips, were created by Noleg Lane, who I'm not sure if she's with us tonight. I think she was going to be with us. This is Noleg here. And so I'd just like to acknowledge that she made a vital contribution to the materials that I'm going to show you tonight. So there's just briefly the story of our group then. About 5-6 years ago now, Pope Francis came out with a statement on care for our common home, about the environment, called Laudato Si'. And it's pretty much a seminal document talking about climate justice, talking about a range of themes, and talking about the importance of the environment in terms of discipleship. At the same time, or roughly the same time, we had some input from the Paris Climate Agreement, and that was the signing ceremony around 2016. And we also had a very seminal BBC documentary called, I think it was Plastic Planet, from David Attenborough. And it was at this time also that Extinction Rebellion emerged and started campaigning actively. And all of those influences made us think about what we could do as a parish. And we set up a series of discussion groups and meetings in 2017. And we followed that up with a working group to see what we could do. and we came up with some leaflets and some poster campaigns, and I'm going to show you those now. So these campaign materials, we showed them monthly. They were leaflets, and I will show you in a bit more detail about the leaflets, but these were the themes that we covered in 10 leaflets, which we distributed once a month throughout the parish. And what we tried to do is we tried to incorporate a large photo, and if we could, a local photo. So you see this one is a local photo. That one obviously isn't, but that one is Reading Station. That one was taken by Henri, one of our group members. That's my garden. That is not. And neither is that. But we tried to incorporate a local aspect. Some of the other things we incorporated in our leaflets were quotes from the Pope, because we know that people respond more positively if they think that this is what the teaching of the church is saying. So it's not just coming from us as activists, it's coming from the authority of the church. So what did we do? We researched some facts and we added those to the leaflet. We made some suggestions about how people what people could do, and we added a section called Find Out More, which contains some web links and some videos and links to videos. And then finally, we included a reflection on what people had done this month and what they had done last month. So this is what the materials, the campaign materials, looked like. So you can see this is one of the leaflets on the left. This theme was quality of life. So this picture is Reading Station. And as you can see at the top there, we had a quote from Pope Francis, who wrote, there are a number of symptoms of what is wrong: environmental degradation, anxiety, a loss of the purpose of life and of community living. Respect for our dignity as human beings often jars with the chaotic realities that people have to endure in city life. So this wasn't just a work about a pure sort of environment aspect. It was also about how we relate to each other. And we thought that was very important. It's a very important part of the Pope's Laudato Si document. So we did posters for the church, again, incorporating these quotes. And then we followed up each month with these leaflets. And as you can see, there's a number of facts that we tried to build in. So in this case, 42% of UK marriages end in divorce, with money problems being a lead cause, and various other facts here. And then some ideas, tick box ideas about things that you could do to help, and things that you could decide, well, over the next month, I'm going to try and do this. And then we gave some links to other materials, and again, a reflection, as we said. The other thing that we did is we gave every household a really quite nice looking folder, so that hopefully the idea was that people kept these and referred back to them. So it wasn't as if people were just given a leaflet and then threw it away. The idea was that they kept them and went back to them. So at the end of the campaign, we did a survey in 2019 of everybody in the parish. And we got some quite positive results and some not so positive results. So we asked people a number of quick questions at the end of one of the church services. And we asked them to fill these out at the end of Mass and then hand them in. So how many people read the leaflets? Well, quite a lot of people read the leaflets and saw the posters, which is good. Did they help to make any change? Yes, 80 people said that they did help them to make a change, with very few people saying, no, it didn't make any change whatsoever. So far, so good. A lot of people also said that they learned something new from the leaflets. So that was good. Now, this is a very interesting figure because, if you can imagine, these were paper leaflets. So if you wanted to look at the link, you had to take your leaflet home and key it in and find the link in that way, because they were not hyperlinks, because they were on a piece of paper. So the fact that quite a number of people said they did look at the links is, I think, quite a positive result. And also a positive result that people discuss the issues with family and friends. But we only got 127 responses from the 3 masses that we surveyed. So a lot of people took the piece of paper, didn't bother fill it in, and snuck out of church at the end. So basically what we'll have got here is we'll have got the people who are most active, most engaged, filling it out. So we have to treat this information with a huge pinch of salt. So for example, in question 3, a lot of people said, yes, well, we're still thinking about doing something for the environment here. So, you know, obviously some people did say they were going to do something, but a lot of people said, yeah, we're still thinking about it. And the disappointing figure was that a lot of people also said that their life is very busy, so they have no time to do anything about it. We also had responses saying, well, I'm already doing plenty of things, so there's nothing else I can do, which again was a bit disappointing. So of the people who said that they had done something, these were the kind of responses that we got. So we had a number of people who said they reduced their plastic use, they did some more recycling. This third one is what I've just said, that I'm already doing the right thing, so go away. Lots of people changed their shopping habits. So they looked at things like where products came from, or they looked at how much plastic was involved in the packaging, things like that. So these were some of the other ideas that came through. They changed their eating habits, saved energy, etc., etc. So a sort of mixed package of responses that we got there, but generally fairly positive. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some of the resources that we have on the Parish Environment Group website, because some of the feedback that we got was very much, look, this is all well and good. It's great to have this information, but why are you putting it on pieces of paper? Why aren't you putting it online? You know, how environmentally friendly is all of that? So I'm going to show you some of the resources, and because we've got very limited time, it's going to be a really quick run through of the resources that we've got on the Parish website. But we have a lot of resources, and if you have time, please do spend some time just going through those. So this is where I have to trust that, no, we don't want that. We want this. This is where we have to trust that the technology works. Can everybody still hear me?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to risk trying to do it on the actual internet. So this is our parish website, jameswilliamreading.org.uk. And this is the opening page that you come to. And if you want to get to the stuff about the environment, you have to go through groups and the environment group. So good. So we've got an introductory blurb on our page within the Parish website, but the good stuff is at the bottom. So to view the leaflets, the 10 themed leaflets and the other resources, you click here. Now, I'm just going to give you a very short introduction to what's on the website. I'm going to select this leaflet, and I open it, and you see a copy of the leaflet. It's a PDF version of it that we sent round to everybody in the parish. And the good news about it being online and as part of the parish website is that now we've been able to activate these hyperlinks. So the hyperlinks that are on here should work. Now, kind of, let's just skip that for just a minute. So this is, let me just pause that for a moment. This is a TED talk about air pollution. And in all of the leaflets that were in that collection of leaflets, you can find these kinds of links. So this is just an example link to show you the kinds of things that are available. So I'm going to skip here to a little bit. This is a TED talk about environmental pollution. So let's just play this and listen to this for a moment.
Andrew, we can't hear it.
Sorry, okay. Can you, sorry. Sorry, can you hear, can everybody hear this or not?
No.
Cannot.
No.
Aha, right. Okay, so that's going to be a bit of a problem because I don't know how to make it sound.
No worries, Andrew. You made the point that your leaflets were providing now the links, and it's up to the I'm going to say owner or receiver of the leaflet to now click and get it. So I mean, this is great. I mean, what I see is that we can, if we're in it, progress.
Yeah. Okay. That's a pity because I was going to show you two videos, but I will still show you the second video. But basically, on this one, the key point that he starts to make, and I was only going to show you 45 seconds of it, is that more people die from air pollution than die from smoking. Okay, so that's a staggering fact. This guy's an academic from Paris, and he goes on to talk a little bit about how it is. Now, of course, that figure you have to work out how that figure was worked on, but he says that there's a gross inequality between the ways that different people living in different contexts experience the effects of air pollution. So you can see that his talk is about 19 minutes long. But that is one of the key things that I wanted to show you because I didn't know that 6 million people die a year from smoking and 7 million people die from air pollution. And let's go back from that now. And I'm going to go back to our video links now. Now, I know that Paula is going to talk a little bit about a fantastic resource from a group called CAFE, Catholic Foundation for Education, I think it stands for. But this is a video that we've used quite a lot, and it describes what the Pope is saying in terms of Laudato Si and the importance of climate change. There are lots of other resources that we've got on the website, and I'm just going to open this one for you. This is it's very similar to this video, which is for adults, and it's just 5 minutes long. But this one is from CAFOD, and it's orientated towards children to explain the environmental crisis. I'm going to open it. Obviously, you can't hear the sound, but you'll see the kind of thing that it's trying to do. think you get the general idea of what it is, even if you couldn't hear it. There's some nice, pleasant music in the background of that. So that's quite good. What I'd like to do now is to take you back to some of the tips and suggestions that are available on the website. Now, again, I need to thank Noleg for this, because Noleg has done a great job in assembling some local tips and suggestions. And what we've done is we have mirrored the themes that we used in the leaflets to look at a whole range of tips and suggestions. So you can see there's lots of tips and suggestions here. What I'm going to do is just to go here to the recycling one. If you go into recycle, you'll see that there are links here to, for example, Reading Borough Council's website. And this will tell you about what you can recycle and where. So if you scroll down, you can find out a little bit more about recycling. There's another useful link in this one that I found that I think is quite good. So, and that is this one towards the bottom. What do I do with this? So, for example, it gives you a whole load of things that people say, well, I'm not sure what I can do. How can I recycle this? What am I supposed to do with this? So let's take, for example, greeting cards. It just gives you some advice about how you can recycle there. I'm now going to take you to another one of the areas here, reduce climate change. And I think here, I just wanted to show you the evidence, causes and effects of climate change, this link here. And every time you come to an end of a section, you can click to go back to the top. So it's worth just spending some time just going around here and exploring what is available. And sorry, I just clicked the wrong link there. Let me just go back. No. That's the one I wanted. So this gives you some straight figures, just some easy, quick figures. But if you go into this, you can get some more of the evidence that's available there. And I found when I looked at it that that's a particularly useful link. So lots of tips, lots of suggestions, lots of sections, and there's a whole wealth of things which at the moment is currently is very much underused, but it's available for everybody to use. And please, if you're from another church, another faith community, please do contact me, or if you want the PDF of this, adapt it for your own use, because we spent a lot of time putting it together, and it's a shame if it's not being used. So I'm going to go back now to the PowerPoint presentation. Let me just close that. Can everybody still see my screen?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So I'm going to skip all of that because I used all of that as a standby in case the internet didn't work, or the internet link to the parish didn't work. But I wanted to show you just one other thing that we're trying to do in our parish, which is we're trying to do either a weekly or at least a regular tip. We're trying to combine some facts and some suggestions. So this is one about reducing our carbon footprint by not driving so much. And Noleg was just saying she finally switched this week to renewable energy supply after years of saying I must do that, which is a great tip, just to remind people, just to jog their memories. If you can do it, do it. And this one is about not buying too much food and not being seduced by some of these offers unless you're going to eat the food. Obviously, if it's cheaper to buy 2 instead of 1, then that's great, but not if it's going to end up in the bin. So the figure was that 24% of food was wasted in 2019. But the good news is that that figure is going down. I'm going to stop talking for a moment now, you'll be pleased to know. I'm going to take us now to the next slide, which I'd like to invite Paula to say a little bit. So Paul, if you'd like to unmute yourself and put your video on, if you'd like to say a little bit about your experience at English Martyrs, and then if anybody else would like to make a contribution, then they can.
Okay, hello everyone. My experience was that during Lent, I did the walk for water, having seen on the church screen Abdullah in Ethiopia walking for 10 hours every day to collect water. And I thought, well, what's going to happen in a couple of years' time with climate change and there's no streams? So I decided to walk for water. And as I was walking around, I was talking to people and they were saying, what does your church do about climate change and the environment? And I thought about it and I thought, well, I don't think there's anything really going on. I thought maybe this was not for Catholic churches, maybe it was for other churches. And I was speaking to a friend, in fact, from St. James, and she said, well, our church is doing what you are doing now. And so I decided to start in English Martyrs, a group. And because of COVID, we had to meet in a tent. So we were meeting in a tent every 2 or 3 weeks and just talking about climate change and so forth and how we felt. And we decided to sign up for something called the Live Simply Award, which is run by CAFOD. And we are now a Live Simply parish. And one thing that we are going to start with, which is in a couple of weeks' time, is we're going to show the video that you, Andrew, were talking about. Can you hear me or am I echoing?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, one is called the Global Healing video. And it talks about the message that Pope Francis is giving us in Laudato Si. And it's in 3 sections. And after each section, it gives you, the video is about 33 minutes, but after each section, you have the chance to have a discussion about what do you feel about the planet? What can you do to make a difference? And it's really an enlightening video. So I really urge you to watch that. We are showing it at English Martyrs on the 4th of October, which is the feast of St. Francis. If you wanted to get the link, if you go to the English Martyrs website and look at the newsletter, you'll see that it's all in there. But before then, on the 26th of September, we're starting the novena to St. Francis, which is 9 reflections it starts at 6:30 a.m. So it's an early start. It lasts for about 15 minutes. It's a short video and it gives you just a little, you have one day, talk about the sun, the wind, the air. There are thoughts, how can you make a difference? Get yourself a glass of water. What are you thinking when you're looking at this glass of water? And I think with each of these little videos, it's going to train us to think differently. And I love this phrase, ecological conversion. And I think that's what we all need to do, is just to fall in love with our planet. And I think something wonderful that Pope Francis has done, he just hasn't done the church and creation. He's actually joined the dots. And to me, that is fantastic. Thank you. That's my bit.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Paula. Does anybody else from any other sort of parish want to say something at this stage about their own experience? We'll go on to have a discussion a bit later on, but does anybody else want to make a contribution at this stage?
If it's possible, it would be, I would like to say something about what we're doing at Wesley Methodist Church.
Yes, please do.
Can you hear
yes.
me? but I can't start the video for some reason. It seems as though I'm not allowed. So I'm happy to show myself, but
Okay,
I
well,
can't
you should
start the video.
find the
Wait.
video button in your top bottom left-hand corner.
Oh, I've lost everything now.
Oh, I've got you now. Is that you, Anna?
Oh.
Anna, I can see
Can
you
you
now.
see me?
That's good. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to
I
make
can't
you.
see. I cannot see myself, so but it doesn't matter. So what I wanted to say. Oh yeah, now I can see myself. So in at Wesley, we it's funny enough because we have just doing this concept of the weekly tip. This you know, for people to address the climate change, especially in coming up to COP26. So a little bit more what you're doing. So we haven't started yet. So the plan was to start in it. So every week there is a weekly email going out to all the people of the church, and they will receive a tip on the recycling or things like this. But the main important thing is that we are working for, we are sort of looking at progressing on eco church. I don't know if anybody of you has heard about this. This is an award scheme from the UK that basically looks at how the church is actually looking after the earth, the planet earth, you know, sort of looking after the creation, etc., on different aspects. So just looking at how efficient the building is, whether for tea and coffee we're using fairly traded product, etc. So we are actually on the 3rd of October, we have a specific service just dedicated to this, to raise a bit the profile of this activity of the church. So I just wonder whether anybody has heard about this, or anybody's doing anything about it.
Well, we have got and what it's still in a prototype form, in a draft form. At St James and St William of York, we have a parish annual audit. We sort of cover some of the areas that you were talking about. You know, are we using cups that are made of plastic? Are they single-use cups? Are we using fair trade? How are we using our energy? What are we recycling as a parish? So we have a draft 31 points checklist. But it sounds like what you're doing is very interesting and could be something that we learn from, because we haven't finalized that in any sense yet. So, and actually, we haven't really got a full acceptance of it. But it's something that we are trying to put in place. And I can certainly, if you drop me a line at the end, Anna, I can certainly send you a copy of it if that's helpful. But also send me a copy of what you've got, so that we can discuss it in our church. Well, it's all about sharing resources rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. Yeah, I think it would be. So we have some sort of activity for Eco Church, which is part of one of the activity of the circuit. I don't know if you're familiar with the Methodist churches. They are sort of structured in circuits. So we have. The one in Reading is actually, we have church from Basingstoke and neighboring. So there's some activity at that level. And but I don't know how far it's gone into other faiths. So it probably would be quite useful actually to try to maybe organize something. You know, sort of. Be very, very happy to come and meet people and you know, anything like that. If that's helpful, whatever. Yeah, I think it would be really good. Okay. To be honest. And as I say, the resources that I've just scratch the surface on our website are things that please do go in, draw from them, adapt them for use in a Methodist context. Please do. Just they're yours for using. I think that's the whole idea. That would be fantastic. Okay, I'm going to move on unless anybody else has anything that they particularly wanted to say at this stage. I'm aware that the time is running out. We started a little late, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. But I wanted to go back into the rest of the presentation, because you'll be pleased to know is relatively short, just to show you some of the things that we've got planned for the next few weeks. So let me just get that there. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically, having done that campaign 2 or 3 years ago now, a lot of people would have said, yeah, it was great at the time. Yes, we remember a few things from it. But we felt that it was quite important just to sort of give a reminder to people about some of the things that are important to try and consider. So this is one of a series of quizzes stroke light sort of worksheets that we've got in planning at this stage, that we'll be rolling out in October. So it's in the lead up to COP26. And one of the questions we wanted to ask was, well, who knows what COP26 means? So we're trying to get where people are at, really. This is a two-sided leaflet, and what you can see is the first side of it. So there's about 8 questions in total. And what we've done is we've interspersed the questions with some facts there, and we've given the sources of those. If anybody can make out what FWRAP stands for, good for them. I can't even remember what it is. But the idea is that you take this away and you say what you do and you don't do, and then you give yourself a score. And it's completely, it's supposed to be kind of a light thing to do. It's not heavy. There's eight of these questions. And it's just a little bit of reflection. The theme that we've got is choosing our food on this particular one. But we have another one, which is a slightly different format. It's a multiple choice format. So it's about circling the answer that's closest to what you do, and then adding up your scores. And again, we've integrated some facts in these questions. And again, there's 8 questions. This goes on to 2 sides. So here it's how many miles do you drive your car or a car, because some people don't own their cars, in a month. And we've tried to inject a little bit of humor in this. So my car is a minibus or tank, that sort of idea. And then, of course, somebody made the point in our group meeting, well, some people don't have cars. So you get different points. So I take the bus, cycle, or walk. I walk as far as the car door, that sort of thing. So we're trying to get this relatively light-hearted, but at the same time, giving a message. So we've got 3 of these lined up for the next couple of months for our church. And then, as I said to Anna a bit earlier on, we've got the parish audit, which is coming up. So what I'd like us to do now, if I'm able to do this, is to have a little bit of a discussion about how can we engage congregations in Reading and demonstrate that they can make a difference, and also what suggestions do you have for taking forward a climate change awareness agenda for faith groups? Okay, so those are the 2 questions. If you could possibly, it'd be very helpful if you could quickly scribble those down if anybody's got a pen and pencil, because I'm going to close that and I'm going to break us into 2 groups so that everybody can have a say. So quick, if you could scribble those down. So it's how can we engage congregations in Reading and demonstrate that they can make a difference? And what suggestions do you have for taking forward a climate change awareness agenda for faith groups? So it's about how do we engage people and what suggestions do we have? All right. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And I hope that I can put you into breakout groups. And I'm going to put you into 2 groups. And we'll have about 10 minutes, I think, to discuss this, and then we'll come back together again. So how can we engage congregations? What suggestions do we have going forward? So please join your group now. Oliver, are you okay to go into group 2? Teresa, are you okay? Okay. Teresa, are you okay? Do you want to join group 1, Teresa? Teresa, can you hear me?
You are, which church you're going to.
It would be interesting, wouldn't it, if we could get an interfaith group organised locally, which is, I think, what you're suggesting, Anna, is it?
Yes.
Mary, what do you think about that?
I think it's a great idea, really. I think we're too used to just doing within our own known sort of communities, aren't we? And we could learn a lot from each other.
I agree with you, Mary. So
you're all from the same church or different churches? Mary and yourself.
The two Marys are from the parish of St. James and St. William's.
There's the Charles as well.
And
Charles is
Charles,
the other
yes,
Mary.
Charles.
And Andrew.
You were lurking in the murk there, Charles.
I'm the only one. I'm the odd one out.
You are, yes.
No, do you know what, Anna? I'm absolutely delighted that you've come. Absolutely delighted.
Hear, hear, hear. We've said
I was really impressed with what you're doing, and I really honestly didn't know there was so much going on. I think it would really be good to try to get together somehow and exchange ideas and even maybe do things together.
Great. Sounds really good.
Have you any idea how this might come about?
Is that you're talking to me or?
Yes, sorry, Anna. Yes, big pardon. Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. So I know that in a week time or something, we have a meeting for an eco church meeting, which is at circuit level. So I may sort of, bring this one, sort of this things that I've been attending tonight. So it would be very useful for me to have, for instance, the presentation and any kind of contact. That would be really useful.
Anna, please just send me an email and I can send you both the presentation.
Yeah, I'm happy to send you an email, but I don't know to whom really, because I've done everything by Eventbrite. So I don't have your email address, I think.
Okay.
Shall I just pop
at
it
the
in
end
the
of
chat?
At the end of the presentation, I've got a slide with my email address on it.
Okay, fine, perfect.
So I'm going to leave this room and go to the other room, but I'll see you in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Involved. I mean, what? Recording.
Sorry, that's just me joining you.
Okay. Right. I was just saying, Andrew, that to me, I think involving young people and some very young people as well is the best way then to get parents involved. And they're very keen. So if you've got a young person who is adamant they're not going to buy plastic goods and so on and check all the goods in the supermarkets and whatever, then you're more likely to make progress in a family. I think it's got to be from the bottom up, as it were, in age terms.
Mm-hmm.
That it's, you know, an ex-teacher, maybe you expect me to say that,
But John, actually, you're so right.
I do think that is one way forward.
You're so right. Thinking back to the mass I watched, because I'm still watching the mass when I've got my kids around from home, there was 20 servants to mass on Sunday, or 20 plus. There were so many. These kids could be the first.
Yes, that's good. Yeah.
Do we mobilize them?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's it.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah. And first of all, find out where they stand on this. How much do they know? I mean, they probably know far more than we think they know. I don't know what they know and don't know.
I think there's a lot going on in the schools that we, you know, with children, with climate change, and they're being told, but it needs to sort of move out, doesn't it, really?
Yes.
Into churches.
And,
yeah,
that's right.
Well, I mean, and unfortunately, COVID has just stopped so many things. But until last August, until the beginning of the lockdowns, Mary certainly was doing a huge amount of work with Mary. This is Mary Reed, was doing a huge amount of work with the children when they went out for the children's liturgy. And they used to come out and they did little presentations. Very often it was about what the Pope had been saying and about climate change and things. But obviously that's all had to stop because there's no children's liturgy anymore. I don't know when, if ever, this is going to start again, but Mary could probably suggest things there.
I think with our Live Simply, we've got ideas that we're going to create a wildflower garden, get children to plant bulbs, get them to make bird boxes, which will either be blessed at Mass or, you know, in their own home. So we have got quite a few things actually planned that will involve children as well.
Yeah, it sounds a nice idea. Yeah.
And then that automatically involves parents or guardians.
Parents and children. We're going to have a creation walk in the park with children and parents and have a celebration in the church. So it's going to involve everybody, hopefully.
Yes. Well, of course, you've got the park just opposite from you, and we've got 7th Forbury Gardens just next to us. So that could work for us too.
Yes.
An eco-friendly barbecue mightn't go amiss.
I don't think barbecues are at all eco-friendly.
Come on, make them eco-friendly.
Burning charcoal.
You can't say to people that you can't do this. What you've got to do is transpose what you're doing to something that is more acceptable.
Hello, James. Jim, how are you? Okay, I think most people are coming back now, which is good. Okay, so do you want to just report back on some of the ideas that you had?
Yeah, I didn't think you were.
Somebody from Group 1?
It was called St James and Group 2.
Paula, were you from group
Yes,
one?
can I just say, this is nothing to do with what we've just talked about, but this morning, 9 o'clock, Start the Week with Andrew Marr was all about climate change. It was totally brilliant. If you can watch it on BBC Sounds, 9 o'clock, Andrew Marr, Start the Week today. Brilliant.
Well, he's always brilliant, isn't he?
Oh, it's so good. So good. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
what ideas did people sort of come up with?
Well,
some of them, because
our main thing was really that we need to involve the children. And parents, but get the children involved really. But my suggestion was, I think there's a lot more going on in schools with climate change, and children are being educated as to what's going on. And if we could just flow that over into the church.
Well, it used to be Paul, we used to talk about the church, the school, and the family acting together, and I think that is a linkage that is somewhat lacking. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I feel is a linkage that is somewhat lacking. So, as you say, if we have the schools acting, and then if the church takes up what's going on, and we get the families involved, then I think we make more progress.
And who was it suggested that we get the altar servers involved?
Yes.
Who was that?
Who was that?
The other thing I said, that Mary Reed, I was saying that until COVID struck, you used to do the children's liturgy, which was very, very often about climate change, and you did some wonderful work for the children. Now, I don't know if there's any possibility that's ever going to start again. What do you think?
I thought
Father Chris.
It's not going to work cramming the children into that sacristy.
No, it's not, is it? No.
But Paula, if you are thinking of working with the children, we do have one or two ideas.
Thank you.
I think you got my email address. I'm happy to share.
Thank you. I think we're also doing things like we're planting a wildflower garden. We're encouraging the children to make bird boxes. With our Live Simply, we've got quite a few ideas that will involve the children. So
that's a nice idea, actually. Can you let us know how that goes? Because
yes,
if it's something that the children actually get engaged in, and actually have some ownership of, and what have you.
Yes.
And that might be something that we could all copy and say, actually, that worked. Let's try it here as well.
Well, I'll be in touch and we'll let you know what's going on. Thank you.
What about group 2? What was some of the ideas from group 2?
I'm not entirely sure whether it was group 2 was the one where I was in.
We were in group 1, Anna.
Yeah, I think one of our big thing was actually trying to get the various denominations, various sort of faith together, because we're all everybody seems to be doing something, but they are a bit sort of like detached. So try to get something going among the different churches and different faiths. And we were wondering whether there is any leg in trying to find out also from the Jewish community and the Muslim community. But as far as I understood, none of us had actually connection.
No, I mean, I occasionally go to services at the Minster, and I know that the Minster are very active in doing things. But you're absolutely right, Anna. There's such a need to share, and so that we're not all working flat out trying to reinvent the wheel, because there's a lot of good material out there. Antoine, you wanted to say something.
Yes, I mean, before we go and try to open the hand to the Muslims or the Jews, I mean, I think we need to put our horses together within the Catholics. And what I don't understand is how come we don't have a direct access to the or help creating a Laudato Si equivalent in all the parishes, the Catholic parishes of Reading and Reading vicinity. I mean, I understand that the Father Chris has got a monthly meeting with them. Can we have a monthly meeting with their, I'm going to say, sustainability leads in order to put actions together? I mean, this is for me so shocking. We are working here in St. James. I mean, the Martyrs are doing a little bit of work as well, apparently, and thank you very much for starting it. But where are the others? I mean, why don't we have a monthly meeting of all the responsible, you would represent St. James.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, obviously, Andrew, and the others would bring someone, and then we can do some global, I mean, more communal action and be more impactful that way.
Sure. I would just say that all of the parishes in the Reading area received at least posters and a little note from me. So I know that people have promoted this, but where we're starting from, I don't know if it's the same for you in your church, Anna, is that, you know, one of the feedback things that we got was that we got 120 out of 800 people who attend our regular things to actually fill out a form. And it was a very simple form. We designed it, kept it very simple. So 650 odd people didn't bother do it. So we're starting from, I think, as faith groups, with quite a low ebb, really. But certainly there are some fantastic examples of the Live Simply campaign. I know that Abingdon Church did quite a lot on those. I know that the Minster are very active in this. And Anna, if your Methodist church is starting off doing things, and that's great. And if we can collaborate, that's good. But I think you're right, Antoine. We ought to see what we can get in terms of the pastoral area strategy team and that sort of linkage. Yeah. You're right.
When you
sorry, go on, Lindsay.
When you say the Abingdon Church, do you mean Catholic Abingdon Church or the?
I do actually.
Catholic,
because,
yeah.
Because that's the church that I know, and I know somebody who organised the Live Simply campaign there, and they did a lot of that.
We really
I think we need to finish this. Does anybody want to say any last word before we finish?
I was just going to say, I thought Father Chris was involved in this group. Did I not see him at the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know quite what happened there.
So maybe he had another meeting.
Might have done. Because what I was going to say is, I don't know whether he still does it, but I know that Father John used to meet with the other other Christian ministers once a month. Do you know if that's still happening?
Not sure. I think it is, but I think that they have got, well, certainly within the Catholic Church, they've got problems at the church in Christ the King. They haven't got a parish priest at the moment.
Oh, Father Pat's left.
I don't know. Paula, what's without? I don't want this to generate into a
discussion about
the organisation of the Catholic Church.
No, I was talking about the meeting the other denominations.
Oh, okay.
They used to meet in the presbytery at St James's once a month. I know.
Paula, did you want to say something? And then yes, I'm going to wrap up.
I know in Tilehurst we have churches together. I represent English Martyrs, all as Methodists, and we so forth, Church of England, and we just all meet together once a month.
Right.
Churches together in Tilehurst.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anna, were you aware of that?
Oops. So I know about churches together, yes, but because I don't attend Tilehurst, so it may be that the people in Tilehurst are more. I knew about churches together, and we are doing some work with the Minster as well, as a Methodist church. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't aware of all the activity that happened in the let's say more the Catholic. We are very close to the Polish church, the Catholic Polish church.
Yeah.
So we try to do some work with them, but they are it's very difficult, especially because they tend to speak Polish most of the time rather than English. So it's a bit difficult to
come to us, Anna. Come to us.
I went a few times to try to chat with them, but I was catapulted in this Polish service and I understood nothing.
I mean, it's fantastic if you're doing that outreach work. That's absolutely fantastic. Anna, I'm going to have to wrap it up now because I did promise that this would be a short meeting, and I was desperately trying to get it into 3/4 an hour, but failed miserably. I just want to share my screen so that you've got details of my email address, but also the parishes. And then after about a minute, I'm going to switch it to a plug for the rest of the Climate Festival, which they've asked me to add on to the talk. And I promised them that I would do that. So I'm going to share my screen again, if you don't mind. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this is me, and this is my email address. I have recorded this, but please contact us if you'd like a copy of this presentation. And just a reminder about the use of the materials from our website. Please do reuse them, adapt them for your own use. So in your case, Anna, just strip out all the stuff about Laudato Si and the Pope's stuff and put in an equivalent from your church. And they've got it already pre-designed, really. So we used mainly our own resources in those materials to avoid copyright issues. There were a couple of places where we sought permission for photo use. There's one of the leaflets where we got permission from Greenpeace to use their model of a plastic whale. And they were great. They got back to us within about 2 days and said, yep, please do go ahead. So that's great. In some of the tips and suggestions, we have expressed opinions or preferences. And we make sure that we included disclaimers at the start of that, because if we said, for example, go and get your clothes mended at Sartoria, but we forgot to mention some of the other places which do clothes mending, then we didn't want to get into a situation where we were discriminating against other brands, if you like. So we've made sure that we included disclaimers. So if you want to have a further look at the website, this is the link to it. But again, if you ask me for the presentation, I'm very happy to send it to you, and you can get that link in any case. So I'm going to close with the plug from the Climate Action Network. So Reading Borough Council and Reading as a whole has a target to try and reach carbon neutral or net zero by 2030. And they're the people that set up this festival. And these bars here are the average temperatures against an average. So you can see how over the last 100 years, I think it is, we're getting hotter and hotter. So please do consider joining the Reading Climate Action Network, and that's their link. Okay. Right, I'm going to stop sharing now, and just thank you for coming. I'm sorry about the mess up at the beginning. I'm not quite sure why that happened, but it made life interesting, and I'm really, really sorry that you couldn't hear the damn videos. Part of it was that I used to work for Plymouth University for a few weeks, and there I was putting on videos left, right, and centre, no problem. But having booked this slot in the climate festival, I realised that Plymouth University have subsequently closed my Outlook, so I had to rejig it and send a new link. So that's possibly where the problem has come from. So I do apologise for that. But thank you very much for making the effort to come. I'm sorry that the other 15 people who bought tickets have not been able to join us, but we'll take it from there. Thank you very much, and good night.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you very much.
Take care now.
Good to see everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night. God bless.